Welcome, wherever you are attending this service from. Welcome to Rosslyn Hill Unitarian Chapel. This service is entitled The Still Small Voice, and it's part of our theme for this month of listening. I'm Rev Jim Corrigall, currently pastoral minister at the chapel. Let's take time now together to inhabit this sacred space and to allow a sense of its presence to enfold us as we enjoy a musical prelude. Our reading today is from the book of Kings in the Hebrew Bible, the first book of Kings, chapter 19. And I'm going to be reading from the King James Version of the Bible. So the story of Elijah, how after many troubles he escapes from his enemies and feels like killing himself. He's being hunted by his enemies. And he sleeps under a juniper tree, and an angel appears and gives him food. And then he sleeps again. So reading from verse 7. And the angel of the Lord came again the second time and touched him and said, "Arise and eat, because the journey is too great for thee." And he, Elijah, arose and did eat and drink, and went in the strength of that meat 40 days and 40 nights unto Horeb, the mount of God. And he came thither unto a cave, and lodged there. And behold, the word of the Lord came to him. And he said unto him, "What dost thou here, Elijah?" And he said, I have been very jealous for the Lord God of hosts. For the children of Israel have forsaken thy covenant, thrown down thy altars, and slain thy prophets with the sword, and I, even I only, am left, and they seek my life to take it away. And God said, Go forth and stand upon the mount before the Lord. And behold, the Lord passed by, and a great and strong wind rent the mountains and brake in pieces the rocks before the Lord. But the Lord was not in the wind. And after the wind, an earthquake. But the Lord was not in the earthquake. And after the earthquake, a fire. And the Lord was not in the fire. And after the fire, a still small voice. And it was so when Elijah heard it, that he wrapped his face in his mantle and went out and stood in the entering in of the cave and said, What dost thou here, Elijah? And behold, a voice came to him and said, What dost thou here, Elijah? And he said, I have been very jealous for the Lord God of hosts, because the children of Israel have forsaken thy covenant, thrown down thy altars, and slain thy prophets with the sword. And I, even I only, am left, and they seek my life to take it away. And the Lord said unto him, Go, return on thy way to the wilderness of Damascus, and when thou comest, anoint Hazael to be king over Syria, and Jehu, the son of Nimshi, shalt thou anoint to be king over Israel. That reading from the first book of Kings, chapter 19. Now we come to the hymn for today, and it's the hymn, Do You Hear? The hymn that asks that insistent question, Do you hear? Do you hear? It's hymn number 33 in the green hymn book. And if you'd like to sing along, those of you watching at home, please do so. The lyric sheet was sent out in the weekly email. We in the chapel will not be able to sing. Thank you to John for playing so beautifully, as always, although he's not with us in the chapel today. We come now to a time for prayer and reflection. Let us pray. Spirit of life and of love, God of all our hearts, as we seek connection with someone, something beyond ourselves, we remain humbled by the awesome complexity of the universe, the miracle of creation, and the grace of the ultimate Spirit. In this time of prayer, let us give thanks for our community and our many gifts by naming our blessings quietly to ourselves in a few moments of stillness. Recognizing our woes and faults, let us sit quietly with those parts of ourselves which cause us discomfort, with a spirit of gentle understanding and forgiveness. Spirit of the divine self, we open our hearts to listen to the wisdom of the still small voice that may speak in quiet moments. Loving God, let this act of worship send a ripple of loving kindness from this place to members of our congregation not with us, to our loved ones, and to our nation and the world still gripped by a pandemic. And may we ever give thanks for our blessings, despite the difficult time we face. Blessed be. Amen. Now we come to some music for reflection. And during the music, I will light candles for all of us as we reflect on the joys and concerns of our lives. after his long journey through the wilderness, when, as you heard, he's being hunted by his enemies for killing a great many unfaithful Israelites, but he also managed to kill they were hunting him because they'd been killing prophets, but he also managed to kill a great many of those he regarded as unfaithful, according to 1 Kings. Anyway, Elijah tells God after his long journey. He arrives at Mount Horeb and he tells God he's being hunted by his enemies. And God orders, as you heard, Elijah to stand on the mountain, the sacred mountain. Then God passes by, we are told, followed by a violent wind which tears rocks from the mountain. Then an earthquake, then a fire. But God is not found in these cataclysms, we are told, as perhaps Elijah might have expected. But after the tumult, Elijah hears a still, small voice, the voice of God. Elijah goes to the mouth of the relationship with the divine, with God, however understood. So what do we find in this passage from Kings, from what? God not found in the tumult, but a God who speaks in a still, small voice, in the silence that follows. Perhaps Elijah needed the pyrotechnics to really listen. And yet it's still a bit puzzling. What exactly is this still, small voice? Where does it come from? Is it just a voice inside Elijah? I recall coming across the early 20th century Quaker mystic, Thomas Kelly, who wrote this: "Deep within us all, there is an amazing inner sanctuary of the soul, a holy place, a divine center, a speaking voice, to which we may continually return. Eternity is at our hearts, pressing upon our time-worn lives, calling us home unto itself." So within us is a divine center, a speaking voice. Eternity is at our hearts. And Kelly, as a good Quaker, goes on to call this light within. So yes, I think the voice Elijah hears does come from within himself, and quiet yet insistent. And this helped me see how I might take my problems to God in prayer. Because something of God within is within, an inner light we can speak to intimately and openly. And if we listen, we might hear a response. And that inner voice can even tell us truths that we would much rather not hear. It can awaken us to realities we may not always welcome. Why? Because, as Thomas Kelly says, this inner voice emanates from a divine center in our lives, a holy place, which cannot be controlled by our intellect, by our will, by our emotion. It's certainly not under the control of our ego. No, it's a holy center that speaks truth, sometimes painful truth, as our consciences do. So is God simply in me then? Nothing more than that? Well, surely it can't be quite that simple, because God is in you too, and you, and you, and all of us.